This is the way the two teams will line up here tonight then. Saints have got Wellens, their full-back, the three-quarter line of Gardner, Kidley, Gilmore and Wheeler, Price and Long. The forwards, Hargreaves, Cunningham, who's the skipper, Graham, Wilkin, Flannery and Clough. And the bench, it's Kalis, Roby, Vassavalu and Ashurst. The coach is Mick Potter. For the champions, Webb is now at full-back, fully recovered from the back injury that robbed him of the grand final in the World Cup last year. Donald, Smith in the centres then, alongside the evergreen Keith Senior, who's back, Hall on the wing, Maguire and Burrow, 6 and 7. Forwards, Luluai, Diskin returning and Peacock, Jones, Buchanan, Ablett in the second row, Sinfield the skipper at loose forward, and on the bench, Bailey, Burgess, Gibson and Allen. The coach is Brian McLennan. Ian Kirk failed a fitness test at midday today, and he has had to just take a seat in the stand and watch this Leeds Rhinos team, who won here 14 points to 10 in round 9 last year. Then they stood top of the table and they were 6 points clear of St Helens. Aiming to extend their unbeaten run in Super League to 10. They've won 9 in a row now, stretching back to last August. Their last defeat in Super League's weekly rounds, August the 2nd at Warrington. Rob Burrow, and behind him Jamie Peacock, two key figures in this Leeds Rhinos side. And just waiting for captain Kevin Sinfield to complete his, as usual, absolutely exemplary pre-match preparations. And Sinfield is the man who leads the Rhinos out onto the Nosey Road pitch. They'll open up a 4-point lead over St Helens if they get a win here. And there's one fellow who will really be celebrating if they do. He's right in the middle of the St Helens supporters underneath us here on the gantry. That's where he should be standing, behind the post. But there'll be no trouble here. It's not that sort of sport. It's not that sort of game. He will be welcomed by the St Helens supporters. If the game goes St Helens' way, he will have one or two things, I'm sure, ringing in his ears, but nothing else. The Saints ended 2008 unbeaten in the last 17 matches. They've been top of the table for the last 4 years under Daniel Anderson. Can they repeat that feat under the new man, Mick Potter? And can they, more importantly tonight, become the first team to beat Leeds Rhinos in Super League 14? Price leads them out tonight. Kieran Cunningham is the captain, but Leon Price leading St Helens onto the field. It's his 100th start tonight for St Helens. I wonder, or rather his 100th St Helens appearance tonight. So I wonder whether that is the reason why Leon Price was allowed the privilege of leading the team onto the field. Try last week at Salford. It was the 150th try of his career. Well, perfect conditions, beautiful, mild, spring-like weather for much of the week. The pitch in excellent order. It's a St Helens pitch, Steve-O.
Certainly is. They'll really relish this, but so will Leeds. As I mentioned earlier, 12 internationals on either side. It's packed full of skill. But it'll be the battle up front early. Interesting to see how the two coaches start the first 10-15 minutes. Will we see Mick Potter telling St Helens, a la several years ago, to keep this ball alive, and will Leeds keep it tight up front? We'll soon find out.
Kevin Sinfield gets us underway. There's the first run from James Graham as he was fed by Leon Price. These two sides absolutely on top of their game at the start of this year. Leeds last week against Wigan were magnificent. And there's the first mistake. I think that was Hargreaves who dropped the ball in the tackle, and Leeds have the ball now.
Tremendous defence. There was not just one man, there was four, went straight into Hargreaves, bang, give it, he couldn't hold on to the ball.
So it's Leeds who are in possession, and they are 20 metres away from the St Helens line. That's Jamie Jones Buchanan disentangling his legs, gets to his feet. Here is Jamie Peacock taking on opposite number James Graham. Helped out by Wilkin was Graham to bring the England skipper to ground. It's now with Diskin. Here is Burrow. Burrow fires the pass to Ablett. Gidley was on him very quickly. 3 tackles gone. Diskin in again at dummy half. Leeds are 5 metres away from the St Helens try line with Maguire. Maguire pops it up to Luluai, and Luluai is halted. by Paul Clough. He will play it then to Diskin, who finds Maguire. Maguire coming back on the inside. There's feet getting him round James Graham, but not round the next man in. Cunningham was there, Wilkin also. Diskin to Sinfield. Here is Burrow. Burrow will stab the ball to the in-goal area. Wellens has got work to do here, and Wellens does brilliantly.
Unbelievable footwork from the full-back. It looked for all the world that the kick was a little bit too strong, but it just shows you how the ball can just go on its apex, bounce back in. How on earth did Wellens get into the field of play? Look at this. They had the numbers, and he got out of the in-goal area. Super stuff, and good work there by Cunningham, but this Leeds defence very keen.
Well, Paul Wellens, one of the England stars who was under scrutiny in Australia, and there have been one or two people suggesting that maybe his international career is coming to an end, but Wellens himself will have a lot to say about that during the course of this year. That's an awful mistake, and here now is Lee Smith. It was a drop ball by Paul Clough, and this is Maguire. Maguire gives it to Sinfield. Sinfield short ball to Peacock, and Peacock is halted just short of the line.
Total confusion by Saints there. They had the possession, couldn't get the kick away.
Luluai tried to pinch one. He got the first try last week in the match against Wigan, but this time St Helens stand firm on their own goal line. Diskin at dummy half will float the pass to Burrow. He will find Brent Webb. Webb goes wide to Senior, and Senior is halted by a three-man St Helens defensive tackle. Brent Webb again at dummy half. Here now is Carl Ablett, and Ablett making progress towards the line is forced back again by strong and resolute St Helens defence. Diskin weighing up the options left and right will come this way and find Burrow. Burrow with a looping pass to his skipper Sinfield. They've got Donald out wide here. Donald puts boot to ball, taps it to the in-goal area. Gilmore runs it out. They're going to get another set of 6 leads. What a start from the champs.
Great play by the Rhinos. See the long ball out wide. They got the numbers up there. Donald knew that it was a dead-end street, put the foot to ball, and he's forced to drop out. Tremendous play. Brian McLennan, the Rhinos coach, will be happy with that, especially with the defence in the opening set, and then their ability to swing the ball either side.
What a start from Leeds. It's reminiscent of last weekend, last Friday against Wigan. Oh, that's an awful bounce. Webb does very well.
He got crunched as well. Just as he was getting his his balance, he got absolutely hammered by Sean Long. Boy, he felt that. He's still a bit dazed.
First appearance of the season at Wigan last week. Starting at full-back tonight. Luluai's on the charge here. And Luluai is halted by Wellens. And Luluai is still going. He got out of Wellens' original tackle, but Gilmore was there to bring him down. Diskin. Here is Maguire. Maguire, he had the dummy runner on his inside that was Jamie Jones-Buchanan, but Saints were not fooled by that.
Very controlled defence by Saints. It has to be as well.
Sinfield, great ball, finds Peacock. Peacock then comes back inside. Oh, Cunningham stopped. Hull have gone into the lead immediately against Castleford. This is Diskin. Diskin against, back to Maguire, whose ball goes up high. It's knocked back. It's still last tackle, says the referee. It's with Sinfield. Sinfield will stab the kick in. Gardner now has got the work to do behind his own goal line, and he does it as well.
The pressure is immense. If St Helens can get out of this, they're going to be very lucky indeed. Saints fans underneath us, they don't like it. They're screaming for Bentham to say that they're offside, but it's just the fact that the Rhinos are getting out of the block so quickly.
This is rugby league of the highest order. Great attacking skills on show, but we're averaging about 10 seconds per tackle in defence without any penalties. That's great skill from both sides and great awareness from the referee.
This is Graham now, and he is halted. 1, 2, 3, 4 men in there. That's the last. On this set of 6, the kick from Long will have to be a good one. First time I think the ball's been in the Leeds half of the field. Oh, and it takes a horrible bounce over the head of Webb. Here is Scott Donald.
Good work from Donald, realising that Brent Webb had got a knock earlier. So he made him sure that he got round him so he could take on the big hit on the on-rushing St Helens defence.
Ball in the Leeds half of the field for the first time, but in Leeds' hands here with Webb. Good hit by Flannery, that.
Go.
This now Ryan Hall gets over the halfway line on tackle number 4.
Paul James.
Ryan Hall, 2 tries against Wigan last week. Peacock. St Helens fans scream for a forward pass. The decision not forthcoming from Phil Bentham. Diskin. It's Sinfield. Weighed up the options both way. Put the ball in the air. Ooh, and Aidy Gardner lost that, I think, but fortunately for him, the ball bounced kindly and over the dead ball line.
He went forward for it, had to turn around and could see that he just bounced in. But what great defence from St Helens. It's been wonderful stuff from the Rhinos, but they really have stuck to it. No one's come out of the one line of defence. They've all worked as a unit.
St Helens have had to work harder in the first 6 minutes, Eddie, than they would have liked. 2 handling errors deep in their own territory, added to the skill and the repeat sets that Leeds were able to force, has absolutely taken a lot out of them. I mean, that will test them though now later in the game. That was a massive 5 minutes to keep the score at 0-0.
Yeah, a few errors, and as you saw there, quite a few missed tackles as well by St Helens. That's a good raking kick from long. It's going to be too deep though. It's just going to run too deep. But St Helens, I think, will be content to play Leeds in their half of the field rather than at the other end.
They'll be happy with that, because the fact is that they know that they've got them on the 20. They can get their one line of defence. This is the first real opportunity to hold Leeds back. Can they stop them from getting over the halfway line?
This is really going to be a game of fractions. Just looking into this tackle now, look at the landing position for the Leeds player. Knees and elbows, gets a relatively quick play of the ball in the game at this pace.
Leeds have had a lot of the ball, but so far they have got no reward.
What was that? Flannery. Okay.
Webb misses out. Maguire finds Lee Smith. Good tackle though down by Wheeler, helped out by Gilmore. Diskin to Sinfield. That looked as though it had drifted forward.
Certainly did. Quite happy, the Rhinos, to just play that very flat ball.
He's committed.
Sinfield with an angled kick, and it is picked up by John Wilkin, who is immediately tackled by Lee Smith. Lee Smith has only played in the centre position twice before for the Leeds Rhinos. Of course, made his name last year in the grand final when he won the Man of the Match award, filling in for fullback Brent Webb, who by then was badly injured and needed surgery on his back. But in the centres tonight for only the 3rd time in his Leeds career.
And I think that Mick Potter will try to pick him out. He's got the returning of the second rower, hasn't he? In, can't find him. Lee Gilmore, sorry. And I'm sure that Lee Gilmore's strength will try to put a lot of pressure on Smith out there.
Here is Long. Now it's with Leon Price. Price will dab it. Well, I say dab it. He actually gave that quite a thump. But it's a great kick. It bounced off Brent Webb. It's an even better kick now. It bounced off Brent Webb's knees, and that's a goal line dropout.
You cannot be casual in this game of rugby league, and that is exactly what's happened with the New Zealander Brent Webb. He just assumed that it was going to go over the dead goal line. You have to be alert. This could prove costly.
It's his first start since September, Brent Webb. He definitely made a play at that. The ball bounced into him and it was a reaction.
But you could see he was relaxed, Eddie. And you can't afford to do that.
This is Paul Clough now. 4th appearance at loose forward this year for Paul Clough. He plays the ball to Cunningham. Now it's Hargreaves. Gets it away to Flannery. Flannery has got Rob Burrow right underneath him, putting his shoulder into the breadbasket there. This is Cunningham. Now it's Graham. Graham just hangs on. Thought about the pass on the inside to Hargreaves. Thought better of it. Here's Kieran Cunningham. Flicks the ball then, and back it comes onto the deck. Hargreaves it was who got the ball away. Clough it was who retained possession for St Helens. Cunningham, one of those typical runs of his. That could have been a flop by Peacock, and it is.
Yeah. He said he committed himself, but he was very, very late indeed. No doubt about it. Phil Bentham, the man in charge with the whistle. Brian McLennan. Well, he'll be wondering why on earth they didn't put points on the board. You know, in that first 5 minutes, I think St Helens had made about 30 tackles. Unbelievable.
Long to Price, and here is Wellens' quick hands. Oh, brilliantly picked up by Wheeler.
What a take.
Fantastic stuff from young Sir Gary Wheeler, 19 years of age, underneath the tackle there. He played the ball here to Wellens. This is Price. Now Graham, Long looked for it, went over his shoulder. Long gets away with that. 6 apiece at the KC Stadium. Hull and Castleford. Hull, of course, hoping that St Helens do them a favour tonight and Hull themselves beat Castleford, and Hull will then be clear at the top of the table.
Interesting to see how St Helens are not utilising the short pass from Cunningham. They are now, but they're trying to go out wide nearly on every occasion. But that's good defence again.
It is. Great defence from Ryan Hall on Adi Gardner. Here's Cunningham, now Long. And Long looks wide and finds Price. Price with a dummy, then Jinks inside. Over the top it goes. Just held up short. Just held up short, the Saints.
That'll be the turnover as well. They went for the power play instead of the kick. Super stuff from Price. Look at this. Talk about step and balance. Got that in numbers. Good job that Senior and Hall had the power.
Wilkins so close.
You're going to have to do something awfully special tonight if you want to score a try. The standard that both of these sides have set, the pride they have in their own, defending their own try line. We've seen, Eddie, you've commented on the so few tries they've conceded so far in 2009. They've set an even higher standard for themselves in determining and preventing their opponents going forward, pass here now.
They've got a forward pass decision against them here, Leeds. They've been taking it to the edge from the very first minute, really. There's been one or two that could have been picked up by the officials. That one was from Diskin to Ablett.
Well, that's a sin for a hooker. Spent years and years controlling the play the ball area, and he really should have held on to it. If someone overruns it, I know it's difficult at times, but you've got to be thinking all the time, Paul.
Yeah, the pass flat at best there, Mike, but that's how tight this game is. They are fighting for every single inch.
Wellens is underneath those three bodies. He plays the ball to Gilmore. Gilmore then finds Clough and he is dumped to the ground. A wonderful tackle from Smith. Now Cunningham, here is Graham. Graham back on the inside under the sticks. Graham wants to play the ball quickly, does to Cunningham. Here is Long. Long to Price. Leon Price, great ball. Gidley. Matt Gidley for St Helens. Outstanding. They have weathered a storm at the other end and they have created havoc up at the Leeds end. And Matt Gidley, his third try of the season. He got 2 against Warrington in round 1. He has not scored since until that moment. Matt Gidley with the try. And St Helens, well, they've soaked up the pressure and they have struck at the other end.
Simply outstanding rugby league football. It all came about from the delayed pass from Diskin, and you can see there it was forward. Picked up by the man with the whistle, Bentham. Look at the quick hands here. Dummy runner coming through, the step. The one man that's on form tonight. He's number 6, Leon Price. He had a jinking run a few moments ago that nearly brought the try, but he got over on this occasion. Just got it down in time, didn't he, Gidley? That's what it means to the Saints fans. Boy, they're happy, and I tell you what, the Saints players were pretty pleased with that too. Super stuff.
Important kick this for Sean Long, not been crash hot with his kicking this year. 10 from 22 attempts until that moment. That's 11 from 23. I'm not very good at maths, but Phil Clark's whispered in my ear that's about 40%. Is that right?
No, it's just under 50% at the moment. It was 45% going into this game. Which, just to put it into context, he's about a 75% goal kicker. That's his accuracy over the course of a season. First 5 games haven't been so good for him.
Never any good at fractions. But it's only fractions that is the difference between these two sides here tonight. Two outstanding teams. You've got to be outstanding if you have been top of the table 4 years in a row, and the only other time in the last 5 years that you haven't been top of the table, Leeds were sitting there at the end of the weekly rounds.
And I think the pleasing thing as well, Eddie, is that there's so many English juniors come through as well. That is a pleasing factor. They are in control. These are the 2 best sides. There's little doubt about that. But the most important thing about it is that tonight, Phil Clark's already mentioned that they're going to have to come up with something very special to break through either defence.
That was touched, or at least it came off a Leeds player. Donald is the man who has picked up Long's kick downfield. I think he played the man rather than the other way round.
Hold, go.
Webb to Ryan Bailey. I say Leeds passes tonight are very flat, and they're drawing quite a response from this St Helens crowd.
Well, it's the style that Brian McLennan, the coach, wants. It's safety first. They want to get into a good position. It's only when they get deep in the St Helens quarter that they'll start throwing it about. Not so much turning in the tackle and offloading, which is quite unusual for the Rhinos. There doesn't seem to be this second phase.
With Leeds, you get a flat pass from Matt Diskin. Conversely, with St Helens, Cunningham jumps out, he goes upstream, and that's where they get their extra couple of metres from.
Great run from Jamie Jones-Buchanan, that put them into this position. Senior flicks the ball back to Burrow, and Burrow, well, he's not tackled properly by Gardner. He gets up and plays on, gives it back to Senior.
Not surprised Gardner nearly took his head off. Okay, he was nearly low to the ground. Look at this, bang.
To knock on, meanwhile.
That's what pressure can do for you. You may be the top sides. Was it assisted? Oh, I think it was. I think you'll find that there was a St Helens hand in there. He's not happy, Brian McLennan.
Wait, Kieran, come on. Okay.
So St Helens get the possession from the scrum, and Burrow is the man who brings Cunningham down. Here is Long. Escaped the clutches of the first. Can't get away from Ablett.
Leeds player down, Leeds player right down. I don't know what it is.
I think it's Burrow, I think.
Yeah, it went in awkward into Sean Long when he scampered away on that short blind side.
Doesn't look well at all, Rob Burrow. Leon Price, great ball. This is Wilkin. Burrow still down.
Old twinkle toes. Leon Price is really up for this, and there you can see it. He went in awkward. Shoulder get right into the upper part of his body.
And they have signalled that they need some assistance quickly for Rob Burrow out on the field. Long, meanwhile, angle kick. Wellens is chasing this. Oh, and Donald has to run it over the dead ball line. Straight down to Bill, uses Rob Burrow.
Yeah, just a few yards away from me. Rob Burrow is in real discomfort, and the worrying thing about this is the second time in the space of a few weeks that he's taken a big hit like that. Of course, he came off second best in the World Club Challenge, and he's come off second best here tonight. Thankfully he's back up on his feet. Leeds medical team there very quickly to see to him, and getting a sporting hand of applause as well from the Saints fans around me, but instantly decided to take Rob Burrow off.
Super kick though, wasn't it, from Sean Long off the side of the boot. Just confused Brent Webb sufficiently enough. Donald was there, scooting back. Messages coming down from Brian McLennan.
Concern for the Leeds coach, because it's only 3 weeks since the World Club Challenge against Manly, when Watmo and Burrow collided, and Burrow was taken off the field around about this stage of the game as well with concussion, and he never reappeared. This is Graham, meanwhile, for St Helens, with Cunningham, now with Long, and that is Hargreaves.
It's a bitter blow, you know, for Brian McLennan and the Leeds Rhinos if Rob Burrow cannot continue in this game. They need him out there.
Price. And he goes, that's the fourth tackle, 3 metres away from the line. Long again, showed it to Graham, and he threw it behind Clough, but fortunately for St Helens and Sean Long, Gilmore is there to pick up the pieces. And Gilmore still going, still going. Draws applause from the crowd, and why not? There was some great effort there from Lee Gilmore.
Four defenders in, they needed a quick play of the ball, that's why Long is screaming for the football. It's a high one.
Oh, and it's come up with St Helens, it's Graham, ball dropped, back it goes, here is Hargreaves. Hargreaves to Cunningham, scrambling Leeds defence. Long again, they switch the other way round. They find Price, he finds Gidley. Gidley stabs it through. Ball's knocked on, was it? Yes. The referee put the scrum down, head and feet for St Helens. Incredible St Helens pressure.
Keep the ball alive and anything can happen. But let's give a lot of credit to the Rhinos' defence as well. They got back in numbers. Remember, there's an incident there where they had 4 men coming in to tackle 1 man. They had to come quickly. That's the incident where Senior knocked on. But look how they're eager to keep this ball alive. But watch Leeds. They'll come back in numbers. Switch to the blind. Keep going. Look how they've got themselves organised. Wonderful sliding defence, but they came up with the error.
Well, they have to be organised again now because St Helens are back in possession with Leon Price. Cunningham just pushes Long out of the way. Here is Clough. Oof, big hit by Lee Smith. Down he goes on the second tackle, Paul Clough. Cunningham's the dummy half for St Helens here. Will go down the right channel, finds Long. Long then to Wellens. Wellens on to Gidley, and Gidley to the touch judge.
It was on.
Leeds defence.
It was on, and the coach, Mick Potter, fully aware of that. Beautiful quick hands. Just a touch too high. The one-handed skill from Gidley just didn't come off on this occasion. And pressure from that Leeds defence all the way. Good scrambling stuff.
Superb stuff. One of the best games of club rugby league I've ever seen at this moment in time. They are firing into each other. St Helens have been in 4th and 5th gear for most of this game. They've kicked into overdrive. It's absolutely fantastic, and Leeds are going with them.
News and Rob Burrow, Bill.
Eddie, thankfully Rob Burrow is back out of the dressing room. That's where they took him initially, and he looked very groggy then, but he's just reappeared, looking a little brighter. He's sitting in the Leeds Rhinos dugout area, and he's still in his kit, so whether they're going to risk putting him back on, I don't know. It's hard to imagine, given the problems he's had in the last couple of weeks with bangs to the head.
Well, that's the reason why the penalty was given. Hands in the ruck, interference at the play the ball, Leeds penalty. Only 2 from the whistle of referee Phil Bentham so far.
Perhaps worked out well for Leeds that Danny Allen has actually been on the bench in place of Ian Kirk, who failed a fitness test. A recognised standoff. He drops in there, and I think then we're allowed Danny Maguire, so there's a pretty good half-back replacement immediately on field.
Indeed so. Allen, usually a standoff. He has been also starring at loose forward as well, but he will be playing very close to the action now with Burrow off the field. This is Sinfield. Here is Maguire, plucked out of the air by Lee Smith. A great run from Lee Smith, but halted by Wheeler.
Did well, took ball and all. No chance of it offloading there.
Maguire, inside it comes to Sinfield. Could have been an obstruction that, but he stopped, didn't he?
Big responsibility.
Sinfield stopped, found Diskin. Diskin then to Maguire. Maguire short ball to Abler, takes the return, and Senior's over. Significant try this for Keith Senior, if it's given by Phil Bentham, because if Keith Senior scores here, he joins Kieran Cunningham as the only Super League players to have scored in all 14 Super League seasons so far. Does he get it down?
Looks all right to me. That's fine. He lifts the legs up, make sure he gets nowhere near the whitewash. This will be TRY time. Watch for the legs. He lifts them up. He's got the ball down by then. That's a great effort. Super stuff. But what about the offload there from the captain, Kevin Sinfield? St Helens thought, there's confirmation on the try. They thought that they had him, the loose forward, Kevin Sinfield, but somehow he released the ball, and quick hands puts in Senior for a famous try. You're right, Eddie.
Yes, he's scored now, as you can see, in each of the 14 Super League seasons since 1996. Kieran Cunningham, with his try last week, has also crossed in all 14. But this is a vital try for the champions, this.
Super stuff. There was, look, they just held off. Gidley had to go and commit. And you could find that Sean Long, he found himself and Gidley shaking hands. They didn't spread out. Look at the determination. That's where it should have been shut down. Maguire, run around. Look at this. Soon as Sean had gone in, Senior was going to take full advantage.
He's evergreen, Keith Senior. He's missed 3 this year so far, though, which is almost unheard of. What about the kick from Kevin Sinfield? It's 6 apiece.
There you see Sean Long has come out of the position, and as soon as he's done that, there was always going to be trouble. At the pace. He knows how to finish this guy.
we've seen in the opening minutes of this game, you know, the skill that these two sides have. They threw together 7 accurate passes there, Eddie, to players in good positions who were able to expose and exploit any gaps that were present. It's a wonderful rugby league try. It's going to take either individual brilliance or great team play to get across the try line again tonight.
Well, these two clubs, they've been major rivals for all the big prizes for decades, and that really has intensified in the Super League era, hasn't it? 8 meetings in playoff football, 4 wins apiece. Wigan ahead at Salford, but Salford on the scoreboard. They were 10-0 down, it's now 10-6. This, meanwhile, is Peacock again for the Leeds Rhinos.
Move! Hold!
Remarkable, this Leeds team, you know, when they won at Warrington 2 weeks ago, 12 of the starting 13 were British. It's 10 tonight, plus all 4 substitutes. Maguire to Webb. Webb to Senior. And Senior is halted in the end by Adi Gardner.
Sheer power of the big fella Senior going through there.
Go!
Last tackle here, though, for Leeds.
Last. Okay, right?
High kick from Sinfield. Tester for young Wheeler, this. Donald came up with it, but knocked it forward.
Hand over to him.
Sensationally high kick.
It had such height on it, it allowed Leeds to come in, look, and contest the ball in the air. Gary Wheeler,
Wait, Leeds. Wait.
only his 4th appearance of the season. Not so for Scott Donald. Try last week against Wigan. 64 tries in 8 NRL seasons. 71 for Leeds since 2006. Great strike rate.
Took him a while to settle into the English style, but he certainly is in top form, that's for sure. Pretty fortunate there, St. Helens. Gary Wheeler, a little bit of experience, really didn't jump high enough to try to contest it. This could change the game. Roby running from gunny half.
Yeah.
Move! And hold. Hold.
Oh, he's injured.
He is, he's hurt as a result of that.
Danny, come on. 5.
Just look at the work in the Leeds defence there, turning the man onto his back. That's where Roby gets turned over. 4 Rhinos in the tackle, and you can do some damage with those kind of numbers.
Wilkin left-footed down the field, but collected by Brent Webb, and he bounced off Wilkin, who followed up to make the initial tackle.
Go. Sean.
Maguire, and here is Donald. Wheeler stands firm.
Second.
Big
Move.
test for
And
Gary
hold.
Wheeler.
Go.
19 years of age, as I say. A couple of tries when he came on as a substitute against Huddersfield Kingston Rovers
Move.
from the
Wait.
local Blackbrook Amateur Club here in St Helens. Now it's Ryan Hall.
Again, the Rhinos quite happy just to drive it up, take
Go.
one out, couple of play the balls. Then you'll see after this one, either they'll go for the kick into the corner.
5.
Will it go high again?
Hold.
It's always an advantage with these lights here, you know, they're pretty low.
The last one, it's off the outside of the foot
Poor.
of Brent Webb. It's not great. Wellens gobbled that up. And Wellens is away almost. Great tackle by Maguire, low down.
I make the point, Eddie, time and time again here, that the lights aren't all that high. They're on the top of the stand, and if you've got the height on it, it's always going to be a problem for anybody trying to defuse it.
Gardner.
He's lost it.
Helens, who's lost the ball. Sinfield picks up the gift. Here is Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall trying to go in and out on Gidley. Gidley halts him.
That should be a penalty.
Interference after the tackle.
I think he called held.
Yes, he called held. Gidley pulled him and pushed him towards the sideline. Had to be a penalty.
Okay. Go.
St Helens get their defensive line set as Senior attacks them again.
Move.
Senior will play the ball here to Ablett. It'll come back to Maguire. Maguire just down a blind alley for a moment, so Sinfield takes over.
Big responsibility on the shoulders of Danny Maguire now. He's got to lead the team.
Webb. Maguire, here he is. This now is Lee Smith, and Lee Smith halted by Wheeler, by Gilmore.
2 feet.
Donald. Maguire stabs the kick in behind the defence, and it is shuttled over the dead ball line by Jason Kalis.
Good job he's there as well, but beautiful work by Danny Maguire. I've seen him over the last couple of weeks. He really... This is a penalty, Gidley.
Cheers, Paul.
But the referee shouted that he was held, the tackle was completed.
Ready?
No time to argue about it.
Let's go.
Good work from Kalis. That'll be Johnny on the
Stay on,
spot.
lads.
Yet to start under Mick Potter, Jason Kalis. Goal line dropout. Wellens gets it over halfway, good length on that. Maguire gives it immediately to Luke Burgess.
Boy, that's a big run. Sheer power. Look how he got scoots away.
Ashley Gibson now.
Second. Move. Wait. Go.
Webb. And Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Back it comes to Sinfield. Sinfield, short ball to Ablett. Ablett thought about flicking it out back to his captain, thought better of it. Sinfield, Ryan Bailey.
Maguire again calling the shots out wide.
4 tackles gone, they're 5 metres away from the line. Sinfield, Maguire looks for the runner, it's Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Down he goes on the last, right underneath the St. Sticks. Gibson, Maguire, back it comes to Webb. This is Lee Smith. Wheeler flew out of the line and collared him.
Tremendous work from the young Wheeler. That was outstanding stuff. He could see the second phase was coming from the Rhinos, and bang, got himself to it. Tremendous stuff there. Nowhere for Lee Smith to go.
Murray Farsavalou, there is the youngster Gary Wheeler. And we are seeing, of course, the first green shoots of spring. There's another one there, Matty Ashurst, another youngster. These youngsters are appearing in Super League this year. Like the green shoots, aren't they? They're beginning to appear.
They are. Well, that was fantastic defence from the Leeds Rhinos. We spoke pre-match about not letting St Helens get on the front foot. Those blitz plays.
Could be a 40-20 this. Well, he did really well then, Ryan Hall.
Did he ever? It was so close to it, wasn't it, the whitewash? But look at the distance that they've got downfield. It is okay, they didn't get the 40-20, they didn't get the feet at the scrum. But this is ever so important. Hall, tremendous. But look how they've just kept this Rhino side deep down in their own quarter.
That was superb, Mike. They couldn't get the ground on the go forward. They went to the kick, and superb skills all round.
Burgess drives it forward for the Leeds Rhinos. Let's go down to Bill, more injury news.
Amazingly, Rob Burrow could be coming back on for the Leeds Rhinos. Not sure if he'll come back on in what remains of this first half, but he's been out off the bench now. He's got a warming up bib on. He's had another check from the doctor. They say, yeah, he might well come back on, and that's pretty remarkable given the state he was in not so long ago.
It is, but Leeds just lost the plot temporarily there. Burgess caught in possession on the last. Maybe they didn't hear the call. Brian McLennan making a call of his own from the front row of the director's box. He's animated tonight, isn't he, the Leeds coach?
Well, it's obvious. It's a tense game. Everybody knows it. There's so much at stake. Oh, that looked a touch forward as well. But he will be furious that they didn't organise themselves for the kick. That's what he was saying. Tell them.
Brian's dad, Mike, is a former St Helens coach, of course, here in the distant past. And maybe this one is just a little bit more special to the McLennan family tonight. Oh, it's a great break here from Flannery. Roby in support. Roby underneath the sticks. Long's pass. Flannery through the gap. Roby unopposed underneath the posts. That's his 40th try in St Helens colours. He got 2 tries in the playoffs here last year against the Leeds Rhinos. And James Roby has restored St Helens' advantage.
Super stuff. He set it all off as well, didn't he? Short pass there. See how it came on the angle, Flannery. It was a lovely delayed pass from Sean Long. Was it a doubt about the final pass? Not according to the officials. That was excellent play by Flannery. If it had run straight, he'd have gone straight into a man. He didn't. He came on the angle, came towards the man. It was Sean Long, bang, straight through. And as all good hookers should do, and he's one of the best in the game, James Roby. He skirted through back on the inside. An easy try.
Well, Sean Long, we talked about his wayward kicking, slightly wayward kicking this year, but he eats these for breakfast normally. Bang in front of the sticks. Doesn't make a mistake. It's 12-6 to St Helens. Champions 100% record, being threatened as never before this season.
See how he comes on the angle. See how he confuses Kevin Sinfield. He's gone out to the left. Flannery says, I'm going on my own. Tremendous try.
Mike, you're absolutely right with that. Phil said earlier on it's going to take an exceptional piece of skill to break a deadlock in this game, because Leeds were controlling that effort defensively. They were working slow play the balls, good numbers in, great technique. And St Helens shifted on the back of a slow play the ball, and they were still able to come up with a great pass on an even better line.
Jamie Jones-Buchanan all over the top of Jason Kalis, penalised, and he said something out of turn, and he has been marched 10 metres further back towards his own line. It's deep in St Helens territory, it doesn't really matter as far as the 10 yards are concerned, but just dissent, not like Leeds.
He was all over him. There's no doubt in the mind of the official that he's got to give the penalty. And then if you'd back chat to them, why give away easy yards like that? Ooh, look at Sean Long. He's animated.
This is Fasavalu. Oh, Bailey stood there and clocked him one.
Brick wall comes to mind.
Roby to Long. Long to Price. This is Wilkin, dropped to the ground by Maguire. Roby, tracked by Maguire.
Watch for the inside pass.
Possession has certainly levelled its way up.
Keep your eye on Wellens.
Leeds early. This is Flannery, down to the in goal from Flannery, and another set of 6 coming up. Webb had to get that ball dead.
Well, it's not normally in his bag of tricks, this, the kicking game from Flannery, but it was delightful, wasn't it? Webb knew that he was under pressure. Great position by the New Zealander, it had to be as well. Super play, though. Finesse from a forward.
We've had 5 goal line dropouts tonight. St Helens 2, Leeds 3.
And I think that's a reflection of the improvement in one key area that both these sides have made. Tactical kicking to apply pressure. Wilkin takes it forward. But they both have improved significantly, I think, that end of the field kicking to put on their opponents under more pressure.
This is Jason Kalis meanwhile. Wigan increased the lead slightly against Salford. This now is Roby, here is Long. Long to Price. And he spins away from Ablett, and Price gets over for St Helens. Where on earth was that sort of running and that sort of attacking skill from Leon Price in the World Cup? A fantastic try from him again. It's his 100th Saints appearance. A try last week against Salford, and that was as good as any of the others he's scored in his career. And there was 150th that he scored last week. A big smile from him.
Tremendous play, though, but I must say, not the best defence from Leeds. Ablett and Sinfield got in each other's way, and he just spun around. That's where the upper body strength just comes into play. See how he spins away and then gets the motor running. You posed the question, Eddie. Where was that out in Australia last year where the price was wrong, but tonight the price is right?
Now the Leeds players all huddled behind their own line, watching the big screen, watching where the try from Leon Price came from. They missed a couple of tackles, he spun out of them and then had the speed to get over the line. Well, arguably, is this Sean Long's biggest test tonight? He's up to the mark. He's brought his shooting boots this evening, all right. 18-6.
And that's a bitter blow to the Rhinos, because throughout, their defence has been good. It's only been defeated by sheer and utter skill. But that is the first occasion during this game that Brian McLennan can point the finger at the defence. 2 went in, Ablett, Sinfield. They know someone should have gone low. They both went high.
You're right, Mike. That could be a real tough psychological blow for the Rhinos. And we asked the question, you know, where was Leon Price in Australia last year? Well, he wasn't playing outside Sean Long, and maybe that was the cutting difference.
Wigan stretch the lead at Salford. Here, a penalty for St Helens, and Leeds are just getting a little bit rattled, and it was Maori Fasavalu who was causing a few problems for them, and Ablett's patience snapped.
Well, Ablett's claiming that he was being held down, but I can't see that. if he was being held, he was held by one of his own players, pulling him back. That's the only person pulling his shirt in that incident.
20 seconds to half-time.
I think Brian McLennan will be quite happy as well, because he knows he's got to get his charges in the dressing room, just calm things down a bit. Remember, they gave away a silly 10-metre penalty by... Oh, they've got opportunity, knock on.
No, they won't.
Won't have time.
They won't have time. Leeds will scramble to put the scrum in position. It's too late, though.
Well, he wants confirmation. There was 1 second remaining.
Half-time. Half-time, says Phil Bentham. Leeds aren't happy. I tell you what, we talked in the studio before the match about, and for you, Steve O'Hare and the gantry, about the spike between these two sets of play. It's evident. There is no question.
Of course it is. Listen, this is a polite war. Let's put it that way. It's as simple as that. Of course, it's evident. Saints want revenge from the grand final.
I'm talking about the
I know
business between the two clubs.
And we said it. They were different.